What's going on, everybody? This is your boy, the Sports Doctor Spock, Mickey Coleman, and earlier or late last week, social commentator Charlie Kirk was killed while speaking in a crowd in Utah in front of his wife and kids. He was just 31 years old. Now, the country is pretty much divided on the way they feel about this. Some people would even go so far as to say they celebrated this young man's death. Well, I caught something, a conversation between Don Lemon and comedian D.L. Hughley I found very interesting. Now, let's take a listen to this and let's talk about some of the words that were said here. Take it away, fellas.
And nobody is saying that, oh my gosh, we're happy that this happened to Charlie Kirk. It should nobody. I don't believe in political violence. However, the right is saying, well, this is war, and you liberals are
What
killers.
was it? What was it when the one congresswoman was murdered along with her husband in Minnesota and another congressman? See, because here's the thing. Now they bantering the word assassination around. Charlie Kirk was not a political figure. I mean, he might have been influential to political figures. He wasn't a political figure.
At
He
least
wasn't
not yet.
assassinated. He was shot. He
Yeah.
was shot, and that's unfortunate. Unfortunately, that happens to far too many people. But those other two congressmen, they were political figures, and they were shot because of their political beliefs. And it's always like we can only have empathy for people if we relate to them, if we spark to them, if we have a tribal connection to them. It is a shame, and the thing that makes me the angriest about this is I always swore that I would never cede my humanity to anybody or any other situation, but that's getting more and more difficult to do because I don't. I certainly don't believe a young man, 31 years old, should have lost his life. But Charlie Cook, Kirk was a horrible human being.
Mm, he had strong opinions on black people, um, whether he was a racist or not. I don't know. I suspect him of be taken away from Tariq Nasheed. Suspect him of maybe being a racist, but I don't know him, so I can't say for sure. But he had a lot of strong opinions on the black community and black people. Should he have been murdered in front of his children like that? No. See, and a lot of people are saying that it's black people that are celebrating his death, not celebrating his death because we don't think it's cool that somebody we disagree with politically dies like that. We don't. Black people are the most empathetic people in the world, as a matter of fact. But let's take a little bit more of a listen to what the guys have to say here.
He said horribly incendiary thing. As a matter of fact, he died. The very last words he spoke were basically putting the onus of gun violence on gangs, which is a synonym for synonymous with black.
Yeah, gangs is a cut. It was as he's gonna say is a code word that politicians and other white supremacists use for black people. Gangs, Chicago, there are a few more, but that's just two of those words that the right uses when they're speaking on black people, kind of cold language or whatever.
Black people. He blamed the very way he died was lying about black people with his last breath. And I just think uh, the best thing I can say is that I hope he believed what he was saying. I hope he believed that lives being lost were worth it so the Second Amendment can persevere. I hope he believed that there should be a lack of empathy. He was parsing between sympathy. Sympathy means we have a similarity. We can empathy means I have nothing to do with you, but I can still feel your pain as a human being. And I hope he believed all the rhetoric he espoused, because if not, that was certainly an empty, vacant way to live, and certainly a horrible way to die.
Speaking of, here is Charlie Kirk on empathy.
Instead, it is to say you're actually not in pain. So let's just very short clip. Bill Clinton in the 1990s, it was all about empathy and sympathy. I can't stand the word empathy, actually. I think empathy is a made-up New Age term that it does a lot of damage, but it is very effective when it comes to politics. Sympathy I prefer more than empathy. That's a separate topic for a different time. Here's cut 64.
Okay. So you said...
So actually, people who are about him being shot kind of have feelings along with that align along with how he feels, which is wild. Now, as they were saying earlier in the video about how they feel like the left pretty much is starting a war between the left and the right. When it comes to my community, the left and the right have been terrible to us. Terrible. And the left acts like they're our friend, but pretty much wants to keep us in poverty as we keep them in power. Everything that they allocate that's supposed to be allocated towards us is really allocated towards everybody else, and we get what's left over. But that's a story for another time. Even though I really didn't agree with most of the stuff Charlie Kirk said, I'm very sorry for the fact that he was murdered like that by his own people, in front of basically the world on a live stream. And I understand his wife and kids was there, so I do actually feel for that. Did I really like his commentary? No, hated it. But we're not celebrating over here the fact that once, I guess, suspected white supremacist, for lack of a better term, is called because of one may have passed away. We not celebrating that one because it's a death of a vicious death of another human being, and two, what do we really win? Because one possible white supremacist dies. Nothing. It's nothing to celebrate. It's nothing to celebrate at all because we're still in a system that is systematically designed to keep us as an underclass. So we win absolutely nothing because of this man died. Rest in peace to him and his family. And most of the people I actually see celebrating it are his own people, which is kind of vicious and fucked up. Now, D.L is saying he's having a hard time feeling bad for him, but to see somebody get gunned down like that at that young age, because he was young enough where his stance could have changed in a few years, was a sad situation to me. But that's just my opinion. What do you guys think about this? Leave a comments and your likes and dislikes. Whether you agree with my stance on this or not, let me know. I could be wrong, but I'm not. This is your boy, the Sports Dr. Spock, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.